Everybody, welcome back to a special edition of the Move Plus. We are talking about the big picture takeaways from stage 16 of the Vuelta España. Jonas Vingegaard struck back, looks almost back to his Tour de France form, won the stage. Pretty interesting, almost a mini stage, 120 kilometers, 2.5 hours through Cantabria. Beautiful region, extremely fast racing. A breakaway failed to go almost by accident because Ineos missed the move and then chased it back, failed to get into the other breakaway. But then Jumbo figured, hey, we just got to set pace for an hour, then we can win the stage. That's what they did. We saw some strange stuff on the final climb, Johan. I am excited to get your take on what we saw. We saw Jumbo attacking, I guess, Sepp Kuss, and then Primož Roglič attacking to pull back Jonas Vingegaard, and then Sepp Kuss getting dropped. A little bit confusing, a little surprising. I'm curious to see what you say. Let's hear from our sponsor really quick, and then we'll get into it.
Hey, it's JB. I hope you're enjoying the Move Plus with Johan and Spencer, a great addition to our lineup. And I want to take a second to tell you about our partners at Manscaped. Now, if you know Lance's story, it's a no-brainer and completely makes sense why we would partner with Manscaped to help support testicular cancer awareness. Now, you may know this or not, but April is actually Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. But that does not stop Manscaped from spreading awareness year-round. With the launch of their special edition Lawnmower 4.0 Purple Trimmer, Manscaped will be donating another $25,000 to their longtime partner at the Testicular Cancer Society to help those impacted by testicular cancer. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code THEMOVE, that's just one word, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code THEMOVE at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
All right, Johan, what is your explanation for what we saw in that final climb where Jonas Vingegaard attacks? And I think I kind of understand that, but then nobody chases, no other GC teams chase. And then Primož decides, I'll chase. And then Sepp Kuss is distanced. I need a little bit of explanation on this.
Well, I mean, my answer is very, very simple, Spencer. I don't know. What I can think is that let's say they're 1, 2, and 3 in the GC before this stage. I thought already, is it not a bit too much? Starting to chase 6 guys up the road, nobody dangerous. You have the Angliru stage tomorrow. It was a bit wet at places. So, if you race for the stage win, then the run into that last climb becomes more nervous and you kind of increase the risk of crashing or, some wheels touching each other. So I thought that was not very smart. But apparently, there's no more gifts or no more lenience in today's cycling. Whenever you have a chance as a team to go for the win, you do it. That's obviously what happened today. And I think that Jumbo-Visma knew that when they get all together to the bottom of the last climb, that at least a Jumbo-Visma rider was going to win the stage. So you can't blame them for that, right? Now, the attack of Jonas Vingegaard was, again, kind of the same thing that happened on the Tourmalet. I thought, one of the explanations I was thinking is that maybe Sepp Kuss has said that he doesn't feel very well. So, but still, if you don't feel very well, then you don't have your teammates attack.
Yeah, and then they never know that you're not feeling well. Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking, I think these guys are just deciding amongst themselves, okay, let's just go for it and see if the strongest rider can win. I've seen quotes from Sepp Kuss saying, I would love to win this Vuelta, but I don't want it as a gift, right? I mean, listen, nobody's giving you a gift, Sepp. It's if you're in the lead, it's because you deserved it for the moment and you stood your ground. So I was a bit puzzled about the tactics of Jumbo, but more so what UAE was doing on that last climb. Vingegaard goes. You can say, okay, you know what? He's third in GC. This is the guy who needs to open and test our rivals. That makes sense. And then basically you put the weight on the other teams and, of course, on UAE. What did we see? This New Zealand guy, Finn Fisher Black.
Yeah.
Great rider. Young guy. Amazing. Tries to go with Jonas, can't make it, and just stays out there. And then you have Almeida doing one acceleration, Marc Soler not doing anything. And let's say of the 1 minute plus that Jonas Vingegaard got at the finish, I think at least 35 to 40 seconds were thanks to, it was on the flatter part, and thanks to the slowing down in the group of favorites, because, you could see guys like Mollema attack. You could see guys that normally are not in that group were attacking. So that was the proof that it wasn't going very fast. So I think the intention of Vingegaard was to open the race and see what was going to happen. But it turned out that he just got away. And, once he got away, he rode very fast. We have to give him that. I still think this is definitely not the Vingegaard of the Tour de France. But, he's good enough to win 2 stages and now being in second in GC. So I'm curious to see now, what's going on in his head, Is he really going to go full gas for this Vuelta win? No matter if you won the Tour, if you get a Grand Tour in front of you, it's very, very difficult for a rider to say, hey, I'm just gonna not go full gas and I want my teammate to win. That's super difficult, even if it's the Vuelta a España.
Well, and they could rightly think like they have a couple hard summit finishes coming up. Like, this is just going to sort it. This will all sort itself out. And I can understand the thinking, because you could see him. He radioed back to ask, should I attack? He attacked. I'm sure what he and Jumbo were thinking, he's going to go, UAE has multiple strong guys in this group. They're going to pull, right? Why would they not? They have Finn Fisher Black, Marc Soler, Joao Almeida. Those guys should have been pulling for Juan Ayuso. Or am I missing something? I didn't understand UAE at all. Why is Finn Fisher Black out there?
Well, he was out there. He tried to follow. That was, in theory, it was okay. But
shouldn't he be helping Joao Almeida? Or, sorry, Juan Ayuso? I don't understand that.
Yeah, but, helping on a steep climb is very relative, Spencer.
But that as you said, that pace really stalled out because he wasn't there.
But this climb, and especially that 1 kilometer flat or flatter part was, everybody was looking at each other, and everybody was looking at Jumbo-Visma, and especially UAE. Enric Mas is by himself, so he won't pull, especially knowing that, at the end it's super, super steep. So it was strange to see. What I did not understand was that counterattack of Primož Roglič. That I did not understand. Unless he was thinking that he was just going to go and drop everybody, then you could say, okay, you know what? Fine, go for it. But he didn't. He got like 10 meters. Then Enric Mas and Ayuso stayed there. And on top of that, Sepp Kuss was in problems. So that was definitely not the plan. And there you really can see that, we can all watch behind our screens and say, hey, but sometimes it's so chaotic and the communication doesn't get through because as a team car, at some point you're quite far behind. So I thought that was a bit strange to see. Personally, I think that the plan initially was that this stage was going to be ideal for Primož Roglič and that he was going to get the stage. And that, once Vingegaard attacked, then, once he got that 40 seconds, then, Primož thought that, he could still win, and he went, and then finally felt that he really didn't have the legs to win. That's my opinion. Now, if you look at the outcome and you see the situation now, it's actually a really great move from Jumbo-Visma, what they did, because they strengthened their position as a team. Sepp Kuss stays with the same advantage on all the other opponents from other teams. And you have Jonas Vingegaard, who's now, instead of 1 minute, he's now 2 minutes ahead of number 4. So in case Sepp Kuss would break down, which is still a possibility, let's not forget, this is his 3rd Grand Tour. It's still a possibility that he may start to feel, the tank is empty. Maybe, you don't know. So in that case, hey, amazing move, because they have strengthened their position and they've gotten another minute with the second guy on the rivals.
No, you're right. The team is in a much better position, and they were clearly happy. If you looked at them after the stage, there seemed to be no bad feelings. I tend to think Primož just didn't know what he was doing. Maybe that's just an odd situation to be in, to be so dominant and to have the top 3 spots. it was weird. I don't have an explanation for it. But just to put yourself, like if I told you you're Juan Ayuso or you're Enric Mas, Jonas goes up the road, what do you do there, Johan? Would you chase, or do you not care that the top three is shuffling? You're just waiting for the Angliru for them to fall apart. Is that what happened there?
Well,
or do these kids not know what they're doing?
UAE, I mean, listen, UAE is not the first time that they have 3 or 4 riders and everybody rides for themselves. I mean, today I haven't seen Finn Fisher Black. I mean, listen, Finn Fisher Black has already done a lot of work for his leaders. He was in this situation. I don't know if, straight away they should have called him back. Probably. But, easier said than done, in such a, it's chaos going on when you're in the final of a race like that. And so I personally think that UAE didn't ride the way they should have. Ayuso looks strong, and he didn't lose any time with Roglic. He took a few seconds on Sepp Kuss, so it wouldn't have changed that much, but it could have been 30 seconds less, right? And so in case tomorrow on the Angliru or in the other hard stage something happened, then let's see what happens. The
weirdest thing is it looked like Ayuso was daring Roglic and Kuss to respond. It's like calling their bluff. That's what I think Carlton Kirby said. I'm like, what's the bluff? You're okay. My teammate rides away, but it almost worked. It's like he just sat there, dared Roglic to go, and Roglic went and actually saved Ayuso some time, I think. And then the funny thing about this is my prediction is I bet Ayuso ends up on the podium because I think Kuss is probably, fading pretty fast. And if he's in trouble today, he's going to be in a lot of trouble tomorrow. And I bet Ayuso.
I'm not sure I agree with that, Spencer.
I don't know.
Today was not a stage for Sepp Kuss. It was one climb steep at the end. The day after the rest day, tomorrow is a lot better stage for Sepp Kuss. I'm not sure that. As for now, I have to say, I still think Sepp Kuss is winning this Vuelta. Actually,
that's premium info. I was going to say let's go debate that on outcomes because we got to record that. But thanks for your input, Johan. I hope everyone found that interesting and enlightening. And I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is a short stage, again, 124 kilometers, but really, really hard. I mean, Angliru is hard, but those other 2 climbs, I know them. They're also really hard. It's going to rain. The downhills of the first 2 climbs are ice skating tracks. It's going to be spectacular.
Well, I'm excited, and we'll be back for another episode of the Move Plus after that stage. Thanks so much.